Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. My voice is gone. My voice is completely gone. The cold has completely knocked me out and everything. But we have to get through this. We have to get through this. Let me know how you guys are feeling at the time of recording this, at the time of doing this stream. Raheem Sterling has not yet been announced by Arsenal, but Fabrizio says that everything is done. Neto is also on his way to Arsenal. He's already been announced, our new second choice goalkeeper. Nelson could be on his way to Fulham instead of Ipswich. So Nelson is also leaving. We're actually losing 4 English players in the same transfer window. Nketiah has been announced by Crystal Palace. Nelson on his way to Fulham. Smith on his way to Fulham. And also Ramsdale on his way to Southampton. So that is pretty interesting. So let me know how you guys are feeling. Are you happy with Sterling to Arsenal now? A lot has happened today. A lot has happened today. Am I feeling slightly better right now than I was feeling a couple of hours ago? Slightly. Because at the time you got to 6, 7, 8 o'clock and you were told that you might not sign anyone, I was like, no way. There's no, you're not going to sign anyone. Absolutely no. Like we don't have enough players. Like even forget about the quality aspect. We already know we needed forward players. We just don't have enough players. Like I was thinking, this is not going to be good. Like we're going to have to depend on Saka and Havertz every single game. Like Champions League, Premier League, we're going to have weeks where you're playing Spurs, Inter Milan, Man City away. You're going to have weeks where you have a Monaco, a Chelsea, a Newcastle. Like you need to have a squad. You cannot depend on all of those players throughout. You have to. It's not even fair on the players. It's completely not fair on the players to just do that again to them this season. I was hoping not. So since then, we've gotten Sterling almost through the door. So let me put this. Let me see how. So it's not been announced yet. So it's going to be announced as we are live over here. So this is the latest. Sterling. We got a here. We go from Fabrizio Romano. So that is good. The player we handed a deal sheet to the FA. So that is to give you a couple of more hours to get the deal done. So this one came very very late on. So I don't know if Arsenal was still planning to get him through the door or it just became a last minute kind of deal. Now, is it an underwhelming deal? I'll be giving you guys my thoughts throughout the stream. Is it an underwhelming deal? Yes, probably. We thought you were going to get, Nico Williams. We thought you were going to get players like that. So in terms of a winger, it's underwhelming. But listen, at the beginning of the transfer window, I said I wanted a midfielder first, I wanted a striker second, and I wanted a backup for Saka third. So and then I said on top of that, I'm happy with our goalkeepers. If you can convince Ramsdale to stay, that is fine. I'm happy with Ryan Ramsdale. And I also said I want our defense to stay the same. I'm happy to keep Zinchenko, keep the rest of them as well, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, Tomiyasu. I was happy to keep all of them intact as well. So I only really needed 3 players: a midfielder, a forward player, and a winger. If we were going to sell Partey, I said we are going to need another midfielder. That is if you're going to sell Partey. I was happy to keep both Jesus and Zinchenko, but sign a striker, sign a midfielder, and sign a backup for Saka, because for Saka, this is the first season where I've asked for a striker. Most of you have been asking for a striker for the last 2 years and stuff. This is the first season where I've asked for a striker. And for a backup for Saka, we've been asking for it for like 3 years now. So that is what I wanted at the beginning of the window. So we have kept Partey. We have brought in a midfielder in Merino. We have bad news on him as well, but we'll be talking about him. So we have brought in a midfielder, Merino. Listen, the midfielders we are being linked to, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and stuff. I think Merino is going to add to the team, like the fact that he won the most deals in the European leagues last season. Is going to bring more, steel into our midfield. Although we are going to have to wait until October for that, because it has just been announced that Merino is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. That is so sad, man. Like 6 to 8 weeks, that means he's going to miss games against Man City, Spurs, probably Chelsea, probably Inter Milan. Like that is so sad. So Merino is not going to be here until October, pretty much. So it's basically like we're signing him in October. So we're going to miss him there. But we've signed a midfielder. Let's forget about the injury. We have signed a midfielder as I wanted. We've not signed a striker. I wanted us to get a striker. Now, most of you probably are very, very like mad, like very like angry at us for not signing a striker. I am as well, because I feel like that is the only position that Man City is beating us on. I feel like we have a better defense than theirs. I feel like midfield wise, these days the likes of Reiss and Odegaard, they're compared to Rodri and De Bruyne, and Odegaard is incredible. Reiss has been incredible for us. Partey has been incredible. Whenever Partey, Reiss, and Odegaard play together, a lot of people say, oh, that is one of the best midfields in the league. So That is great. The only position where we cannot compete with Man City is striker, because they have Haaland who can score 50 goals and we don't. So that is the main reason I wanted us to get a striker, plus Champions League, because you're going to be facing, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and on top of that, you're going to play against 8 teams and not 3 teams. So the level is higher. Like if we had someone to score a goal last season, we probably beat Bayern Munich. That's one I definitely agree with. Now, I'm not as mad as most of you are, like completely angry, because of a couple of reasons. Personally, I still do believe Arsenal will compete for the title even without signing a striker. Will we get it at the end? That is a problem. We will need to really be perfect between now and January, at least be ahead of Man City by January and do that business in January. I think this team will still keep up until January, yes, but I don't know if you're going to keep up all the way between January to May. So we have to find a way to keep up with Man City between now and January and sign a couple of players in January to take us to the end of the season, because injuries are going to happen. Injuries are definitely going to happen, and they've already happened. Jesus is injured, Tomiyasu is injured, Merino is injured. Those are 3 players who are injured. And we have Partey who can get injured anytime. We have Zinchenko who can get injured anytime. We still have a couple of players who can get injured anytime. So we have to really pray that Saliba, Reiss, Gabriel, Saka, Odegaard, all of them stay fit throughout the season, at least until January. In terms of outgoings, okay, before outgoings, I'm also happy that I asked for a backup for Saka. Does Sterling count as a good backup for Saka? I think he does. Yes, I wanted players like Nico Williams. Those are not really backups. Those ones are coming to start for Arsenal. We have gotten a backup winger, so doesn't matter this coming from Chelsea or Liverpool or Frankfurt, doesn't matter. We have gotten a backup for Saka. Sterling is not a starter for Arsenal. He's going to back up Saka and the likes of Martinelli and Trossard. So we have gotten a midfielder. We have gotten a backup for Saka. Those 2 I asked for, but we've not gotten a striker. The other position that I asked for. So I've seen a lot of people saying this transfer window. Let me know in the comments. What do you rate this transfer window? Sorry about my voice. As I said, the flu has been killing me the whole day, but I've seen people rating this transfer window out of 10. Let me know, what do you rate this transfer window out of 10? I've seen people saying 4, 3, 2 out of 10. That one I don't agree with. I don't believe it's a 2 out of 10. Now, we have signed Calafiori. He's going to strengthen our defense. Yes, our defense was really strong. We kept 18 clean sheets, but maybe Calafiori is the difference between us keeping 18 clean sheets and 21 clean sheets, for example. Maybe Calafiori comes in and we don't maybe concede the goal against Liverpool that we did at Anfield, and we end up winning that game. So that will still help. So Calafiori and Timber are basically like additions to our defense this season. So I think we're going to be stronger. So Calafiori to that mark in terms of, the rating, I think it boosts our rating a bit. Merino, yes, he's injured now, but in terms of him having won the most duels last season and things like that, and he's done, a lot of work for Real Sociedad before, and at the Euros, you saw his performances. He can get into the box and score and all that. I think it's a good signing as well. We're not going to see him until October, but I think it's a good signing in terms of adding to our midfield with Jorginho, Reiss, and Partey. I think Merino is a good addition. Goalkeeper-wise, we've signed both Raya and Neto this transfer window. I don't have a problem with signing Neto. It was either we sign like someone to come and compete with Neto, with Raya. I did not want us to spend 25 million on one Garcia to come and back up Raya. That is too much money for a backup goalkeeper. Either you get a younger goalkeeper to come and back up Neto. You can go back to the videos in June when we were talking about which players we need to sign, or we can sign an older goalkeeper who's about to retire. Actually, did say that back in June. Like, I don't have a problem with signing an experienced goalkeeper who's going to come in and, back up Raya. The only thing is, I think he's cap tied. I don't even think he can play the Carabao Cup because he's already played for Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup this season. So that is a weird one. Maybe that is the only one we could get, and we just gambled on him. So that is maybe one mark in terms of the rating. For Raheem Sterling, earlier today I was not feeling well earlier today. Like, I was like, we cannot be serious. We don't have enough players. Like, I've even done the preview for Brighton, and I was looking at our bench, and we don't have enough players on the bench. Like, if one of those players gets injured, we have like 4 or 5 youngsters on the bench. Like, remember 2 years ago when we had like Cedric, El Neni, and like 4 or 5 youngsters on the bench? We don't want to get ourselves into that position again. So we just need even depth. Even forget about the quality. You already know we need a striker and a winger in terms of quality. But just depth-wise and number-wise, we don't have enough players. We cannot go into all of those games with 15, 16 players. That is not enough. Those Champions League games, Premier League games, Carabao Cup games, there are too many games. in December we might have even 8 to 9 games. That is not enough. So I needed us to add to our team. So when I saw Sterling is about to join Arsenal, my reaction was, it's better than nothing. I wasn't like, oh my goodness, Sterling, Chelsea reject, all that. No, I was like, this is better than nothing. This is completely better than nothing. At least we do have a backup for Saka, because without Sterling there, for example, we'll just have Saka because Nelson is on his way out. We don't have enough players. Vieira's gone, Smith Rowe has gone, Ketty has gone. We don't have enough forward players. So my reaction for Sterling was, at least we are getting someone in those winger positions. Yes, he's not got enough forward. We are getting someone in terms of a winger. Is he going to perform at Arsenal? We have to hope. We have to hope, because the last 1 year at Chelsea has been terrible. He's not been good. I've seen him missing one-on-one chances, making poor decisions one-on-one with the goalkeeper a lot of times last season. We need him to be up there in terms of confidence. We need him to be the Man City kind of Sterling that we saw playing with Sane and Aguero and those guys. If he's that Sterling, that is perfect for us. But if he becomes the Sterling that he was at Chelsea last season, then we're in trouble, because we never really trusted in Nelson. We don't want to get to like November and then we don't trust in Sterling. We don't want that. So hopefully he does hit the ground running. So for me, my rating for the transfer window, if you add the outgoings as well, because we've managed to get 30 million from Ketia, we've managed to get 25 million for Ramsdale, we've managed to get Smith Rowe as well, 27 million plus 7 million in add-ons, 34 million. We've been able to sell. Kivior staying. I wanted Kivior to stay at the beginning of the transfer window, so I'm okay with that. I know some of you would say 3, 4 out of 10. I'd probably give it 6.5 or 7. I know that sounds high, but I really believe in Calafiori, Merino, and Calafiori and Merino mainly because, yes, we wanted to add to our forward line, but there's no problem with also strengthening the defensive line even more. For example, yes, we could have won the game against Bayern Munich if we had a striker, that is correct. But we can also say maybe we don't concede to Liverpool away from home in that 1-1 if we have Calafiori there instead of Zinchenko. Maybe win that game and you get 3 points instead of 1. So in terms of Calafiori and Merino, I rate them very highly. I think they definitely improve our team. And the fact that we've gotten Sterling at the end, my rating before he got Sterling was 5 out of 10. So after getting Sterling, I've pushed it to like 6 or 7, mainly because I wanted a backup for Saka, and that is a backup for Saka, fine. But I'm not those extra 3 marks would have come if we'd gotten a striker. So I want to know what you guys have said. Some of you probably think 7 is too high. Let me see. Mark says 7 out of 10. Daf says 6 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Jude. 5 says Ibrahim. Let me put this on the more clearer screen. Let's see. Yeah, that's much better. See, 1 out of 10 is too low. That's what I'm saying. 1 out of 10 is too low. Calafiori alone as a signing is already past 2 out of 10 because we've strengthened our defense even more. Yes, we all wanted forward players. Yes, defensively we were very good last season. But what if we move from good to better? Let's keep 24 clean sheets instead of 18. That will still help us in terms of not conceding goals and in terms of picking up points. And as I've said, a good example is like Liverpool. Instead of drawing that game 1-1, we win it 1-0 because we have a better defender there to mark Salah. That can work out. So 1 out of 10 because no goal getter in Arsenal team. 1 out of 10 is too low. I'm watching from Liberia, 6 out of 10. Thank you, Josiah. Christopher says 6 out of 10. Fair enough. So there's a lot of 6 out of 10. Let me see. I told you you're not going to sign a striker, that you'll sign a winger, says following. Yeah, I saw a couple of those comments. Glenn, good morning here in Nigeria. Edu and Ateta disappointed us, says Harry. How's everything? Erimai says. Well, it could have been worse. Like if you hadn't gotten like even a Sterling, it could have been worse. Because I was looking at our squad, I'm like, no, we can't go into this season with just Saka again. No backup for Saka, no backup for Odegaard, no backup for Havertz. That is disastrous. Like if one of those players goes down injured or even suspended, we don't have enough players. So for Sterling, it's I don't know if it's going to perform. I can't like bank on it 100%. For Havertz, I said I believe he's going to hit the numbers for Arsenal. For Sterling, I'm not going to put my life on the line with that particular bet, but let's hope he just hits the ground running. Let's hope like that Premier League experience and the fact that he's played under Arteta before. Let's hope that he does help us because yeah. Let me tell you the other thing I love about this deal, this Sterling deal, the fact that Chelsea are going to pay half of his wages. That is incredible. Like I would love it, man. Just imagine if Sterling comes to Arsenal and then Arsenal win the Premier League title while Chelsea are paying his wages. Oh, I would absolutely love that, man. Like that would be banter mode throughout the next 3 years. We'll be bantering them proper. Like let's see though. Let's go through the news. Let's see if anyone has been announced. Sterling has not been announced yet. Let's see. So Ed Nketiah has also moved to Crystal Palace. He says, working my way up from Haaland to the first team was a dream come true. He taught me what it means to play for the club and what privilege it is to wear the shirt. I never took it for granted and gave it all my all every time I stepped on the pitch. So Nketiah has been given the number. He's been given number 9 at Crystal Palace. So Nketiah, Ramsdale, Smith, all those guys, I want them to go and do well at their teams. Absolutely no problem with them. Nketiah and the Smith Rowe, Helen boys, and Ramsdale has done very well for us for those 2 seasons. I want them to go and do well, and all of them have gone to Premier League teams. So we are going to see them. We're going to come up against them. Let's see how he does over that team. But we have gotten the 30 million eventually. So I'm happy with that deal for Eddie Nketiah. Let's see any more news. Arsenal will not pay a loan fee for Raheem Sterling, where there's also no option to make the move permanent either. So that's another thing that I like about this. We're not paying any loan fee, and we are paying 50% of his wages. So basically, you're getting Sterling on a free just because Chelsea didn't want him there or the manager didn't want him there. So I don't think we have anything to lose. Yes, you can say we have the Premier League title to lose, but in terms of this particular deal, we have nothing to lose at all. Like if he doesn't perform at Arsenal, yes, it probably costs us in terms of having a backup for Saka, and hopefully it doesn't cost us the Premier League or something. But in terms of the deal by itself, if it doesn't work out, it just goes back to Chelsea next season. We just pay 50% of his wages. That is absolutely fine. I think he's on, is it 350K? So that's like 175K a week. If he hits the ground running and he scores goals for us like Havertz has done and gets assists, and Chelsea are paying half of his wages while we are trying to win the title, that would be perfect. That would be absolutely perfect. So let's go through the latest news. The belief at Arsenal is that they have got a great deal for Raheem Sterling when it comes to payment of wages. I agree with that. We are paying half. Chelsea are paying half. That is great because we don't want to have a player on 350K a week. Like if Sterling came to Arsenal, he was getting paid 350K a week. That would bring a lot of trouble again because, already Havertz on 200 and something thousand. There's a lot of fans who don't like that. Like if you bring Sterling on 350,000 and he becomes the highest paid player at Arsenal, that wouldn't have been great. Raheem Sterling is an Arsenal player. Fabrizio Romano said Raheem Sterling is an Arsenal player. Let me check Twitter on my phone. Raheem Sterling agreed to a wage cut as part of his loan move to Arsenal, with that wage to split 50-50 between both clubs. Raheem Sterling is scheduled to be unveiled by Arsenal when they face Brighton at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow, says Team News and Ticks. So, according to Team News and Ticks, Raheem Sterling will be unveiled tomorrow when we play against Brighton. There's this very early game, so there's a preview coming up for that. But we are playing Brighton in the first game today, basically for most of you. So Sterling will be unveiled there. But you're not going to see Sterling playing for Arsenal up until after the international break. And after the international break, it's Tottenham and it's Man City. So those games are not going to be easy at all. Let me check more news in terms of Nelson and all those guys as I read your comments. Sterling to Arsenal is not bad, says Prince. That's what I'd say. I'm not going to say it's great or it's perfect. I'm just going to say it's not bad. Let's just see how it goes. We don't have anything to lose in terms of that particular deal. If he comes and does great for us, perfect, man. At least we have got Sterling to sign, but we would have gotten a striker better. I agree with that. I don't disagree with that. I wanted us to get a striker as well. I don't know if we tried. Isaac, I understand it was impossible, but I don't know if you really pushed for Osimhen and Gyökeres. Osimhen is not going to Chelsea; he's staying at Napoli. Looks likely. So I remember when you're talking about Osimhen and Gyökeres 2 months ago, I did say like if their prices don't go down, they're both going to stay at their teams. But Osimhen staying at Napoli, like, should we have tried at least? Is there a reason why we didn't try? I feel like that attitude thing with Tony and Osimhen. I think that is why I didn't go for them. Yes, most people say it doesn't matter, but I actually do think like to this Arsenal team, Arteta, Edu, and the rest of the board, I think they really, really look at that. That's why they like look at players for 4 or 5 months before they actually get them. So I feel like that with Tony and Osimhen, that is maybe the reason why I didn't go for them. I would still have gone for at least one of them, though. I'm not happy. We didn't buy a striker, says Prince. Only thing that we can say with that, because now it's over. So now we have to push through until January, win as many games as we can, keep up with Man City. Personally, I don't have a problem with the rest of the teams. I've seen people saying because we're not signed a striker, we're going to struggle to finish top four. That one I don't agree with. I feel like we still have a very good team. I still feel like Man City is the only team that can finish above us, as I've always said. Even if we didn't sign anyone at all, Man City is still the team that can finish above us. Maybe that is a bit arrogant, I don't know, but I feel like we still have a very good team. Saliba still plays for Arsenal, Reiss still plays for Arsenal, and so on and so forth. But a striker would have been more perfect, get as many points as we win every game until January, add another player, and just, kill Man City's hopes completely. But now we have to have to continue to keep up with them until January, and then hopefully in January, even though there'll be a lot of more expensive players, even more, we need to sign a player in January. Anthony says Sterling is a good player. Anthony says let's trust the process. In terms of that, for me personally, I'm nowhere close saying like Arteta out or whatever. I'm nowhere near that. I have too much trust in Arteta, so the things would need to go very, very wrong for me to turn my thoughts on Arteta. But yeah, it's a big season. I'd like to know like why they didn't go for a forward. Is it because he doesn't want a forward? Is it because he prefers playing with the way we play? Havertz up front sometimes, Trossard up front sometimes. Is it because they didn't get a striker who fits Arsenal? I would like to know all that. Maybe you'll never get to know it, but let's see. Take a few more. I'm watching from Liberia. Where's right that one? Yeah, Merino is out for 6 to 8 weeks, so that is not great as well. That's such bad luck because remember Vieira came with an injury. Timber came in last season, picked up an injury as well. I really feel like if Timber played last season, he would have won that league as well. Because there's some games where we had to play Kivio at left back, Zinchenko at left back, in some games that weren't supposed to play at left back. Like Kivio was never supposed to play at left back against Bayern. Zinchenko was never supposed to play at left back against Liverpool. So 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 says Samuel, 4.5 says Ayo, Buster says 6 out of 10, Ibrahim says 6 out of 10. Izu says signing Just Sterling is no improvement to our squad, so 5 out of 10. So I guess the question to ask from that Izu is Sterling better than Nelson? So let me know in the comments, guys. Is Sterling better than Nelson? As a backup for Saka, would you rather have Sterling or would you rather have Nelson? If those are the two players we're looking at. My country, it's now 11:26 p.m., says Bao. We don't like Raheem Sterling, but his experience as a player matters. Arsenal stand no benefit in both EPL and CL. Champions League is hard. Yeah, Champions League, in terms of find the Champions League, yeah, I don't think we've done enough. Like that Champions League is different from the Premier League. The Premier League, I still believe, even if Arsenal don't sign anyone at all, only Man City can finish above us. But the Champions League is a different story there. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, all those guys. Any team can beat you. Even Inter Milan, we're going to a place they can easily beat us 3-0 if you're not careful. We might sign a striker in January. Yeah, as I said, hopefully we need to be at the top by then. So we can't be like 6 points behind Man City or something like that, because we already know when it gets to January, even if you're 3 points behind Man City, it's a problem because you're starting to depend on other teams like we did last season, and we found out it's not a good idea. Calm down, Sterling is going to cook. Now, I'm personally calm. I'm not happy we didn't. I'm not happy that we didn't sign a striker. I wanted us to get a striker. I'm not as sad as I was 6 hours ago, and I thought you weren't going to get anyone at all. But personally, I believe in the team more than most of you in terms of us beating most of the teams in the league, even without signing players. But we'll need to keep our players fit, and we'll need another big season from Saka, Odegaard, and we will need our winger, like Martinelli and Jesus, to be the 2022-2023 Martinelli and Jesus. Like Martinelli will need to start scoring goals. If he has another bad season, we're in trouble. Ibrahim says I prefer Sterling. 3 out of 10 for this transfer window. Nothing to celebrate, always doing the same things. I personally don't agree with 3 out of 10. As I said, our defense kept 18 clean sheets last season. We've added Calafiori. What if we keep 24 clean sheets next season and we don't lose to West Ham, for example, and we don't consider goal to Liverpool? And, team, which other game did we draw? Like Tottenham drew 2-2 at the Emirates last season. Maybe if we have even better defenders, we win that game, we get 3 points instead of one. I still feel like it's still important to keep on improving your defense in your midfield, yes. But 3 out of 10 is personally too low. So if you're giving it a 3 out of 10, Coco, that means you don't rate Marina and Calafiori at all, at all. Sterling is better than Nelson by far, says Sewa. Yes, Sterling is better. I'm very sure of this, says Ruth. Sterling is far, far better than Nelson, says Harry. So if that's the case, that means Sterling is a better backup, you know, for Saka than Nelson. That means he's not the best buy because you wanted Nico Williams, you wanted Bakayoko, you wanted Neto and those guys. But in terms for me, I was not looking for a starting winger. I was looking for a backup for Saka. Like even back in June, I even said, get a striker. You can spend 80 million on a striker, spend 60 million on a midfielder. Even if it means you only have 15 million to spend on a backup for Saka. I was even going to go for someone like a Solly Match from Brighton, as long as you get a backup for Saka, someone who can come on and play a couple of games. So I don't have a problem with signing a backup for Saka in terms of Sterling. The one I have a problem is not getting a forward player because Jesus is injured right now. So what if he gets injured again and he's out for 2 months? What if Havertz is not available? Like if Havertz goes down with an injury for 1 month, then we're in trouble up front. I'm disappointed with Arsenal with sold Nketiah and he didn't look for a replacement. Yeah, we definitely needed to get a replacement. Some people are saying we should have kept Ed Nketiah. I think that ship had sailed. In terms of Ed Nketiah staying at Arsenal, I don't think it would have been healthy. Like even for himself as a player, like I see a lot of Arsenal fans like throwing abuse like at Nketiah and people saying F off and we don't want you here. Why is he rejecting Nottingham Forest? Get him out of here. Like it was very toxic. Like if he had stayed, it would have been very toxic. So let him go and do his thing at Crystal Palace. But for us, we needed to have a backup. So I don't know how long Jesus is out for. I wanted Jesus to stay, but I didn't want him. I want us to depend on him. So tough one. I still believe in my team, even though without a standing striker, it's all about oneness in the pitch, says Mohammed. I do believe in the team as well, for sure. Like that is not my problem at all. Actually, do I still predict Arsenal to win the league? I can't change my prediction right now. I predict Arsenal to win the league, so I'm not going to change my prediction. But that will depend on what we do in January. We have to keep up between now, up until January. You cannot. I said we need 29 wins this season to win the league. And did I write it somewhere? I think I wrote it somewhere. I think I said something like 29 wins. How many more games are there? 9. I think I said 29 wins, 5 draws, and 4 losses would be enough to win the league. Maybe even 3 losses, because you never know what Man City are going to do. Man City have not really bought a lot of players as well, but I think Gundogan is a good buy for them, and I think Savi has been very, very good. We also have to hope that Man City don't have a perfect season like they had the last 2 seasons. Let's hope so. But what I don't want to happen is maybe Man City drop off. This would be terrible if Man City dropped off and they finished with like 84 points and they still won the league. Then that would be disastrous because we needed to get more than that. Arsenal should have kept Nketiah, not Jesus, says Raymond. Now, I don't agree with that. As I've said, Nketiah, it has been very toxic recently. It's just better for him to leave. Like every time Nketiah comes on the pitch, you can see Arsenal fans saying, "Oh my God, Nketiah is coming!" Or who's bringing Nketiah? Like it's very toxic. So it's just better for him to leave. Plus, Nketiah has been here since the Wenger days, so I think his time to move on has come. Jesus has been here for 2 seasons. So for Jesus, Zinchenko, they had a good first season, a terrible second season. This is kind of their last chance. If they have a poor third season, then you can talk about moving them on. Um, Joseph says 4 losses can't win the league. They can though. How many? Let me calculate for you. As long as you don't draw too many, Joseph. So if you win 29 games, let's see, that is 6, 8. If you win 29 games and you draw 5 games, that is 92 points. I think that wins you the league, even if you lose 4. 92 points should win you the league, unless Man City have an incredible season where they pick up 96 points. Four losses can win you the league as long as you don't draw too many. So 29 wins, 5 draws, and 4 losses gets you to 92 points. Pretty sure, if I've done the math correctly. So that is 92 points. That will win you the league. I think 92 points wins you the league. So yeah, I mean, if you get fewer losses, then that is great. If you can turn those losses to draws, that is perfect. Like last season, if we didn't lose the Newcastle game and he drew it, and we didn't lose the Aston Villa game and he drew it, we're on the same points with Man City. Arsenal transfer business is 5/10 for me. If you should have bought a striker, the transfer should have been a 10/10. So one striker sale would have moved it from 5 to a 10. Okay. Can Zinchenko play midfield in Arsenal? I think that is what is going to happen. Now that Merino is injured, and I think we're either going to see Timber or Zinchenko in midfield for one or 2 games. Because now defensively, I don't see Zinchenko playing. Like Kivia stayed. So if it's a game where we need to defend, I think Kivia will be coming on, maybe off the bench. Calafiori is there, Timber is there, Ben White, Gabriel Saliba usually there always. So Zinchenko is not going to get a lot of game time. Maybe you're going to start playing him in midfield. I mean, some games, not like totally. Let me see if there's any more news. I don't know if it's been announced. Our new signing, Raheem Sterling. I did not think like we literally sign a player from Chelsea every single transfer window. It's crazy. Havertz last season, um, the previous years, obviously, Jorginho the previous year, 2022. The previous year, we got Willian, I think, in 2020. We also got, Czech. We can talk about Gallas. We can talk about even Benayoun. There's been so many players who've joined Arsenal from Chelsea. I don't know what that relationship is between Arsenal and Chelsea because the fans hate each other. Um, let's see if there's any news in terms of this. Their cold has been killing me, but don't worry. Let's hope tomorrow we do win the game against Brighton to make it 9 from 9. Raheem Sterling, is there any more news? No news yet. So we still need to announce Sterling. We still need Nelson to be announced. Let me check on the phone. But let me keep letting me know what you're rating out of 10, the window. Hi, Glenn. How are you doing today? Arsenal don't want a striker, right? I really want to see a striker this season. We didn't sign a striker. So the reasons they probably give is they didn't get someone maybe to fit in. I think that is what they would say. Or in terms of prizes, maybe didn't get to Gyökeres. I'm surprised no one went for Gyökeres. I'm really surprised. Nah, my throat is killing me, Musa, but it's fine. I'm happy with the transfer, says Freddie. Missing out on buying a striker irritates me extremely, says Ajami. Understandable. Joseph says Nkete could help us. He's that class like Shamak, if you can remember, or Sanogo. Could help us. So I think a lot of fans would disagree, though. It had gotten to a point where at least 80% of Arsenal fans wanted Nkete to go. So that's not a healthy relationship. I think it would just be better for him to leave. Bao says Arsenal to will beat Brighton 4-1. Whew. That's very confident. I think we'll win. My prediction is 3-1. 4-1 would be great. I mean, Arsenal can still beat Brighton, even with the players that we have right now. It's better to keep winning, not to lose. Maybe we can draw 3. We'll better in position to win. Now, I think the draws will be more than the losses because there's some games there, obviously, unless you beat Man City twice. I feel like we're going to draw a game with Man City. I feel like we're going to draw a game with maybe a Tottenham or someone. Hopefully, we can beat them home and away. Now that we've beaten Aston Villa, why not? Let's see how well we'll do when we play against Tottenham and Man City after the international break. Um, let's see. Has Nelson moved on to? Is there any news on Nelson? So sending in any questions that you have. This is a very late stream. This is now 2:40. But tomorrow, as always, after the game, I'll be live after the game. We can discuss more. I'm going to post a preview. It's going to be very late, but you're going to post a preview for the game. Brighton is not easy, by the way. Brighton have actually beaten us like 4 times at the Emirates Stadium the last 6 years or something stupid like that. Let's see. Arsenal, no, we've read that already. So Arsenal have not announced him yet. I don't know if you're actually going to announce him tomorrow. Probably. I mean, Team News and Tick says you're going to unveil him tomorrow. So maybe Arsenal not going to announce it on their social media today. So yeah, I don't know if Nelson is going to go through. But personally, for the Sterling deal, just because we're going to pay 50% of his salary, and on top of that, we're not paying any fee for him, I'm okay with the signing. If it was like if you had paid like 40 million for him or something, then that becomes a problem. All the best to Nketiah over at Crystal Palace. So Fabrice said Reiss Nelson off, moved to Ipswich off. But he should be going to Fulham, I think. Ivan Toney has gone to Saudi Arabia. I don't think that is a good move for Tony. Money-wise, yes, but see, so no news from Arsenal yet. So he made 5 signings this transfer window, 2 goalkeepers. Raya, Neto. I mean, if you count Setford as well and Nigard, but you don't count them, I think they're more of academy players. Has completed his move to. I've not seen that yet. I mean, they've not been announced yet, so I think they're going to be announced very, very late, like maybe almost morning time. I don't know if Arsenal are going to announce Sterling or they're just going to announce him on the pitch tomorrow. We never announce players on the pitch, by the way. That is interesting. Man United do that a lot. If Nelson goes to Fulham, they have Smith Rowe, Nelson, Iwobi, and Leno. What the hell? Like what we are to Chelsea, Fulham are to us. Like we send all our players to Fulham. Nelson is the last player remaining who played under Wenger. If he leaves, we don't have any more players playing under Wenger. You're welcome, Ibrahim. I'm sorry about my voice today. The cold has killed me, so I was planning today. Today I was planning to do multiple live streams through the day, and I was hoping you'd get a couple of signings. The deadline they didn't turn out the way we were hoping. I was very relieved Osimhen didn't go to Chelsea. I had this bad feeling like, oof, if Chelsea get Osimhen, we never know. Can we win against Chelsea this season with their players? Personally, I'm not worried about Chelsea. The thing is, as I've said, Man City is the only team that can finish above Arsenal, even if we didn't sign anyone. I think Chelsea. I mean, the last 2 years when Chelsea signed Mudryk, people asked the same question: Can we finish ahead of Chelsea? Now they have Mudryk. Chelsea, for example, Chelsea will score goals. Yes, with Felix and Neto, they'll score goals. But yes, it's not only about forward players as well. In terms of defensively, Chelsea will concede like 60 goals. Arsenal will concede like 20. So there's still a difference there. Like in terms of squad, how many Chelsea players get into our team? We can do a combined 11 right now, William. Would I take Chelsea's goalkeeper ahead of Raya? No. Defensively, would you take any Chelsea defenders ahead of Ben White? Reiss James ahead of Ben White? Maybe some of you would say maybe. Gabriel Saliba definitely ahead of all their defenders. Left back, I actually do like Cucurella, so I'm going to put Cucurella for them there. But for me personally, the last 3 years, Ben White has been better than Reiss James. Most of you would agree. but Reiss James has a bigger ceiling, maybe some will say. But in terms of performances the last 3 years, Ben White has been more consistent. So I'm still going to go for Ben White. I've given them career. Midfield wise, Caicedo, Pate, who would you go for? Let's be honest, Caicedo has been terrible since signing for Chelsea. I would go with Pate, Reiss, and Odegaard. I mean, Enzo ahead of Reiss? Definitely not. Even the Chelsea fans don't rate him. Anyone ahead of Odegaard? Definitely not. Up front, you can argue for Palmer. Striker wise, do Chelsea have? I mean, I watch every single Chelsea game. I live with the Chelsea support over here, so they're not all that. I think I'm not worried about Chelsea because they've signed 30 players now. I've not even looked at Chelsea and Man United. My focus is really Man City. As I've said, maybe that is a bit arrogant. Maybe by the time we get to April, we could be fourth, and I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this. But no, I'm just looking at Man City and maybe Liverpool. Not Chelsea. Even if Chelsea signed 50 players, like even if Man United bought Mbappe today, there's this thing. I mean, they've bought a lot of players, Chelsea and Man United, over the last 7 years. But is Eddie gone? Eddie is gone. Khalid, Eddie is gone. I've seen it somewhere here. Who tweeted about it? Was it Fabrizio? So yeah, he's already. Let me go to Fabrizio. Just a moment. Fabrizio. So yeah, he has joined. So to answer your question, yes, we are going to beat Chelsea. Chelsea's depth makes it hard for the 90 minutes against Arsenal. Chelsea's depth, so the players they're bringing off the bench. So again, it might sound a bit arrogant. I'm happy there are 13, 14 players to beat Chelsea last season. I mean, you beat them 5-0 last season. So where they were weak was defensively. So we can say with Neto and Felix, they probably get 2 goals. That is fine. I'm only worried about Man City. That is the team I'm looking at. Even if Chelsea signed 50 players, like I just look at them and I'm like, I just scroll. I'm like, okay, whatever. But if they signed Osimhen, then maybe I would have answered that question differently. Freddie says you have to be a complete team though. So if Chelsea have signed 100 forward players, their defense is very weak. So we're still going to score goals against them. What question is that? Can we win against Chelsea? Yeah, a funny question, Freddie. I think people are worried too much about Man United and Chelsea. Let's focus on Man City. No disrespect to the other teams, of course. The Premier League can go either way, but it's not been confirmed yet, Simon. I was looking for Fabrizio here. What has he said about Nelson, Ipswich? Why did he retweet this? Greetings from Kenya, says Tom. Thank you. As I said, Arsenal with the team that we have, even if we didn't sign anyone completely, my worry is Man City. Like if Man City were not in this league completely, we would still win the league very easily, even without a striker. Because remember, we still scored 90 goals. Yes, we'll still need to score like set pieces and things like that in some games, but our squad overall, remember, we still have Declan Rice there, we still have Odegaard there, we still have Saka there, we still have Trossard there. As much as people talk about Havertz, people need to know that Havertz is like in the top 3-4 most goal contributions in the Premier League this year. Like he's up there with the likes of Watkins and Palmer in terms of goals and assists. So he is delivering in terms of goals and assists. We still have Saliba there, Gabriel, the best defense, Reiss performing well. So Sterling has joined. I'm waiting to see whether they're going to announce him today. They've said he's going to be presented tomorrow in the game against Brighton. Which team signed Nelson from Arsenal? He's about to go to Fulham, so I'm waiting to see whether it's going to go through. There's usually a chance that it can break down last minute. It might not go through. I think we have Chelsea fans here thinking Chelsea can beat Arsenal. Forgetting yesterday they lost 2-1 to Servette. That team, man, whichever team that is, man. There is that as well. So Arsenal probably don't lose to Servette. So Man City, that is the team I'm looking at. The reason why I'm sad about not signing a striker is not because I think Arsenal is going to finish fifth because we've not signed a striker. No, we're still going to finish ahead of every team, maybe apart from Man City. Man City is the only team that is going to can finish above Arsenal. That is still what I'm going to say, just like last season. Um, and the Champions League. Champions League is the other worry because Champions League, you might get 2-3 chances in a game you need to score. This season, Arsenal are going to be unstoppable for any football team. Let's hope so. If you can get to January with a good record, then let's see. But for me, I'm just looking at Man City and maybe, as I said, Liverpool. Man United, I mean, come on. You guys have watched Man United and Chelsea already this season. Yes, Chelsea won 6-2, but we also saw them struggling in the first game, and we also saw them struggling against Servette, as you've said, Freddie has said in the chat. Man United, come on, you also know. Let's see how we play against Brighton tomorrow. I mean, Arsenal will still create chances. Arsenal will still score goals, but we needed that. We wanted that extra factor, that X factor. Let's see. Fabrizio, is he here now? Man, Fabrizio tweets about every single team crazy. Like you'll scroll after 2 minutes, he'll have tweeted like another 100 times. I was trying to look for Nketiah. So Nketiah has been presented as a Crystal Palace player. Let's see if I can get that for you. All the best to Nketiah, all the best to Nketiah. So yeah, there it is. Edin Nketiah is a Crystal Palace player. Edin Nketiah is a Crystal Palace player. There he is in a Crystal Palace shirt. He is gone. He will be wearing the number 9. They've sold Edward and Jordan Ayew, so they now have Mateta, Eze, and Nketiah. Fascinating to see how they do. I really want to see how they do. Nketiah, Smith Rowe, Ramsdale. Joseph says, please help me about El Neni. No, El Neni left. Did he go to like Qatar or somewhere? I don't remember. Is it Qatar or UAE or somewhere? Yeah, El Neni left a long time ago. Prepare live where some of your fans can join us. I will try that, Freddie. Do you think we can get 18 points minimum in our Champions League journey? That is win all home games and at least 2 away games. Home games, the fixtures are coming out today, by the way. So Monaco, Dinamo Zagreb, PSG. What's the other team? Like there are so many teams this season. We have Girona away. We have Inter Milan away. Realistically, I would say 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. That is 17 points. So that does not get the 18 points, Khalid. So I think we're going to draw a game somewhere. If we can get 6 wins, a draw and 1 loss, if we have to get a loss, that would be perfect. Can we get to 18 points? I'm going to predict 17. 5 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. That is what I'm going to predict. So 17 points. We might not have any team getting to 20 points because there's a lot of tough teams facing each other. Anthony says, how far with the Sterling deal? Sterling, Fabrice has already said he's already an Arsenal player. He's already given us, can we get it? Let's go to Fabrizio. We already got the here we go from Fabrizio for Edin Nketiah. Edin Nketiah for Sterling, not Edin Nketiah. So here is Fabrizio. Fabrizio already said Sterling to Arsenal. Here we go. Team News and Tick said Sterling will be at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow. So this is basically done. It's pretty much done. We are just waiting to see whether Arsenal are going to announce it, but maybe Arsenal are just going to wait for the morning to announce. Arsenal like doing things the traditional way. Maybe they feel like, people are asleep right now. Let's announce it in the morning. Man City are going to give Arsenal 4 points again this season. Speaking of that, by the way, Ibrahim, I don't also agree with people saying Arsenal should have tried to. Maybe Trossard could have passed that ball, we'd have won. But I don't think drawing at Man City is what cost Arsenal the league. No, drawing at Man City is a good draw. That is a very good draw. If we beat Aston Villa, we'd have won the league. Man City, drawing with Man City did not cost us the league. So if we replicate the same this season, win and draw against them, I'd be very happy with that again, as long as you try and win the other games. So yeah, Sterling, let's see if you're going to announce him. If we don't, I don't think we are going to announce him tonight, or it's too late. Like, it's way past midnight for most of us. So I don't think it's going to be announced tonight. But let's not forget as well, we did sign another player. We've signed let's go to Arsenal. It's very rude of me not to talk about Neto, our backup goalkeeper. If Reiss is not available, he's the one that is going to play. Let's go to Arsenal here. So from Helen to the first team, yeah, good luck to Eddie Nketiah. I think Nketiah needed that new chapter. I think he really needed that new chapter. I think things had become a bit stale at Arsenal. So here is Neto. Neto joined Arsenal. I don't know if he's going to play the Carabao Cup. I don't know how that is going to work because I'm hearing he's cup tied. So yeah, Neto says, I've always dreamed to play here. Why do I feel like every single player says this? I've dreamed of playing here. I had the opportunity to train here a few times in the training ground, and I always kept that feeling in my mind. And now I'm realizing it. Love. So yeah, Neto is an Arsenal player as well. All the best to him. I hope he can. I don't know if he can't play the Carabao Cup. That is a weird one because he already played for Bournemouth this season. He's our new number 32, so he's basically replaced. Ramsdale used to be our number 32, I think, before Leno left. So yeah, welcome to Arsenal, Neto. Neto used to be backup goalkeeper for Barcelona. I think he used to be backup for Juventus as well. I think he played first team for Valencia. I think Fiorentina. But yeah, he's been in some big teams, Valencia, Juventus, Barcelona. He's going to bring the experience. I personally, the two deals that we've gotten today, I don't have a problem with. Although, now that we've gotten both Neto and Sterling on loan, that means next season we are going to be looking for another goalkeeper again. So we still need to get another goalkeeper next season, and then we'll probably be looking for another winger next season again. So, or January, I don't know. This season is ours, Ghana's family. Now that the transfer window is closed, now we just have to go back to supporting the team. We remember we've started the season well. We've beaten two wins. We've beaten Aston Villa, beaten Wolves. If we beat Brighton today, that is 3 wins out of 3. That is a good start. Go to the international break, refresh. A few of our players have not been picked, which I'm happy about. I think Trossard has not been picked for Belgium. Personally, I'm happy about that. I'm an Arsenal fan, not a Belgium fan. That means Trossard rests. Ben White has not been picked for England. He's resting. Jesus and Martinelli have not been picked for Brazil. Jesus is injured, obviously, but Martinelli is not going to go to Brazil. More time to train. I'm happy with that. Merino is injured now. He's not going to go there. A few of our players have not been picked for international football, so that is good for us. More time for them to train. Coco says, rank this Arsenal summer transfer window. David Raya, 27 million. Calafiori, 40. Mikel Merino, 30. Neto loan. Sterling loan. Smith Rowe out for 32 million. Smith Rowe is actually 34. Ketia, 30. Ramsdale, 25. Vieira loan. El Neni free. Cedric free. Lokonga loan. Nuno Tavares loan. Carl Hein loan. There's a couple of others there, but yeah, it's difficult to include all of them. Like someone like a Biereth. Biereth has been sold, but it's difficult to include all of them. If you are putting all of those together, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Now, I know some of you are saying 4 out of 10, but there's still a couple of good things that we've done. A lot of people were saying just sell Nketiah for 15 million, just sell him for 16 million. We've gotten 30 million for Nketiah. I think that is good business. Most of us wanted Smith Rowe to stay, but we've gotten 34 million for Smith Rowe, a player who hasn't played for us the last 2 years. I think that is a good deal. Aaron Ramsdale, 25 million. I wanted 30 for Ramsdale, but we are getting we bought him for 24 million plus 6 million add-ons. So we're basically getting the same money that we paid for Ramsdale at first. So that is a good deal as well. El Neni, Cedric, I mean, everyone wanted those players to move on. Lokonga loan, The Tavares loan is an obligation to buy, so that is okay. He's going to be bought next season by, is it Lazio? It's Lazio, right? Lokonga Sevilla, it's an option to buy. So if Sevilla don't want him, he's going to come back. The Lokonga one I was not happy with. I wanted us to just sell Lokonga or have an obligation to buy. Vieira one was a weird one as well. Personally, I would have kept Vieira after letting Smith Rowe go. I thought you were going to keep at least one of them. Letting both of them go is a bit weird. Although they've said now Nwaneri is going to get a lot of opportunities this season. So I remember a lot of you have been saying Arsenal is selling a lot of youngsters. We need to give youngsters opportunities. Nwaneri is going to get a lot of opportunities this season. Neto loan, I'm okay with it. Calafiori and Merino, I love those signings. So if you're putting all of those together, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. The ones I'm not happy with, I wanted Lokonga to be obligation to buy or just sell him. Vieira, I didn't understand it because we've already sold Smith Rowe. I would have preferred to keep Vieira. And yes, they're not signing a striker. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because I do love the fact that we've gotten, that is how much, Nketiah 30 million, Ramsdale 25, that is 55, Smith Rowe 34. So yeah, close to 90 million for those three sales. I think that is good business. And in terms of improving the team, do I think we are a better team than we were last season? I think we are, because Timber is back, Calafia has been signed. Defensively, we are better. Are we better going forward? I wouldn't say better or worse. I just say the same. We still need to score from set pieces. Like if you don't score from set pieces this season, like if we don't score as many as we did last season, we probably suffer a bit. But the reason why I predicted Arsenal to win the league even before I saw who we are going to sign is because I was hoping this season Martinelli is not going to get 4 goals again. 4 goals is too little. Did he get 4 or something? Jesus, 4 goals, those are not enough. Like if Martinelli and Jesus can improve even by 4 goals, 5 goals, both of them, that takes us to a better place for sure, because we missed their goals from the previous season. Clean sheet wise, I think we're still going to be very good defensively. If we keep a clean sheet today against Brighton, that is 3 games, 3 clean sheets, that would be incredible. So I am fine with that for sure. 7 out of 10. If you got a striker, it would have been like a 9 out of 10. To make it a 10 out of 10, we'd have needed to, maybe sell Lokonga, maybe do more, something else, maybe get a better wing or something. But I'm okay with the Sterling signing. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Awesome live stream. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Emerson says, "Morning, Glenn. Under 21s won 4-1." Yeah, I saw that. I was watching it. We were leading 1-0 at halftime, and second half we got 3 more goals. I don't talk about it, but I do watch. I do watch them. Like I even know Arsenal ladies are playing tomorrow. In England. They're back from the US. I just follow all of them, but I don't talk about them a lot. But yeah, I do follow them at 21s. I saw the win against Australia earlier. It was like 6 hours ago. Let's see. We scored a penalty, Emerson, right? We scored a penalty today. Thank you, Ake, for the super chat. Let me take a couple more deals as I check. Let me check if there's any more deals. Nelson or Sterling has been announced or something. So I don't think Arsenal are going to announce Sterling today. It's already too late. I don't think they're going to announce it right now. I think they're going to announce it in the morning, or as Team News and Tix has said, it's going to be announced when we play Brighton. Let me see if there's any development with the Nelson deal. Matt Turner, by the way, has gone to Crystal Palace, the former Arsenal goalkeeper. Let's see. So welcome to Arsenal, Neto. Welcome to Arsenal. Sterling as well. I didn't know we were going to get Sterling. Actually, when they said he's going to leave Chelsea, I thought he was going to go to United. So that is Neto. So yeah, I don't think Arsenal going to announce him. So the only thing we can do is to check whether Nelson has left, and then So there'll be a preview. I'll post a preview for the Brighton game, and then tomorrow I'm going to try and sleep off this cold, and then tomorrow, as usual, I'll be live after the game against Brighton immediately after. But before that, I could try to maybe come on live again to talk about the signings today. When will Merino come back, says Simon? Unfortunately, Simon, they've said 6 to 8 weeks, so that is up until October, unfortunately. So he's going to miss a lot of games. So there's no more other signings despite Raheem. Nah, just Sterling and the goalkeeper. What's wrong with Tierney? Thank you for reminding me. You guys know Tierney is still an Arsenal player. That is another defender that we have. So the thing with Tierney is injured. Is he got injured for Scotland? I think what is going to happen is we are going to cancel his contract. Unfortunately, I can't see him playing for Arsenal, or we're just going to keep him until January and then let him go. Thank you, Peter. Is it Peter? Thanks for the good news, says Alison. Will Skelly be integrated into the big team? I think Nwaneri is going to be fast, and then we could see Lewis Skelly. I think we're going to see Lewis Skelly against Bolton and Nwaneri starting that game. Because Lewis Skelly is a midfielder, he can also play as a left back or a right back as well. Let's see. I think he's going to be integrated, not as much as Nwaneri, but I think he's going to get a couple of opportunities. Defensively, because Lewis Skelly has been playing for us at left back, it's going to be difficult because we now have, how many defenders do we have now? We have Zinchenko, Calafiori, Tomiyasu, Gabriel Saliba, Kivio, Ben White, Timber. Even like that is like 8 defenders. So you have 4 for the first team, 4 for the second team. Whew. Defensively, I think defensively we are set. I'm hoping we can keep even more clinches this season. Have we signed Sterling? Yes, we have, Aziz. Arsenal have not announced it though, but it's done. Fabrizio has already said it's done. Great and good news, says Aliyu. Sterling isn't a bad signing. Nice window for me, says Peter. More says why Arsenal don't buy a striker. That's the question you're all asking. Now, for me, I said Arsenal. I want Arsenal to get a striker because I want us to go to the next level. So I want us to get a striker who's going to take us to the next level. So I only had 4 strikers in mind: Gyökeres, Osimhen, Isaac, and that was it. I didn't think like any others would do that for us, but we didn't get any of them. Now, do they feel the same way? Do they feel like there's no other striker who's going to take us to the next level? I would have loved to get just anyone, even if it's a backup, just to have someone who just wants to score goals. No, Ricky, what happened to Coman? Coman refused to leave Bayern Munich. He was offered to Arsenal and to Saudi Arabia. He said he doesn't want to leave Bayern Munich. I didn't want us to get Coman anyway. If it's between Sterling and Coman, I would go for Sterling, because let me show you this. You see this injury record that Coman has? This is bad. Look at this injury record that Coman has. Let me bring that up. So this injury record is not good. Like last season, he picked up like 7 different injuries. He missed 8 games, missed 1 game, missed 9 games, missed 2 games, Those are a lot of injuries that Coman has picked up. So if it's between Sterling and Coman, I prefer Sterling because of the availability. It's broken down better over here. So those are the number of games he missed and the number of injuries he had in those particular seasons and how many days he missed. So last season he missed 125 days. That is that is a very bad injury record. I didn't actually think it was that bad until I checked it. So yeah, that injury record, I wouldn't have signed Coman. I think that would have been a bit of a disaster. Simon says, will Sterling play tomorrow? Nah, no chance. Even if he was allowed to play, remember he's still in the training ground right now, completing the thing. So it's already 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. for most of us. It's too late. Like he's been up and down all night. he's not even gotten an arrest anyway. And on top of that, you need to train with the team first. You cannot just come into that Arsenal team and just play the next day. You need to train with the team. And number three, you need to be registered the day before by 12 midday for you to play the next day. I enjoyed your program. I'm an army in my country, Nigeria. Thank you, Ayende. I'm from KE, Ayende. Have we signed any forward? No, I read that already. Thank you guys for watching. I'll try. Let me rest my voice and then we'll be back tomorrow. So Sterling has been signed. Arsenal have not announced it. They're saying is going to be announced tomorrow before we play Brighton. So that is fine. Nelson, I don't know if he's going to end up going to Fulham. Let's see. Is there any more news? Nah. So that is fine, guys. That is fine. We have signed Sterling. We've signed a new goalkeeper. We are waiting to see where the Nelson is going to go. If he does go, just check the page. Just check the YouTube as well, Facebook, whichever. I'm going to post it there. But I appreciate you guys watching. And catch up with you tomorrow. Brighton, early in the morning. I'm going to post a preview. So in the next 1 hour. So thank you guys. See you tomorrow.